So let's talk about that really confusing feeling. You know the one. When you're getting along great with someone and then out of nowhere, they just seem cold. It can totally throw you off, right? Well, today we're going to dig into exactly why that happens by taking a look at what's going on inside your brain. Okay, so picture this. You're talking to someone new, maybe a coworker, and it's awesome. You're clicking, you feel a real connection. But then the next day, you say hi, and their tone is just completely different. It's short, it's abrupt, maybe it even sounds a little rude, and bam, your mind it just starts racing. Why does a tiny little shift like that feel like such a massive deal? Well, here's the first thing you need to know. It's not you. You're not overthinking it or being too sensitive. This is actually your brain doing exactly what it's programmed to do. So let's start with the first step, how our brains create those initial impressions in the first place. Yeah, our investigation really begins with how we form those first impressions. See, our brains have this kind of mental shortcut, like a filter, that shapes how we see people from the very first moment we meet them. This shortcut actually has a name in psychology. It's called the halo effect. It's this fascinating cognitive bias where our brain takes just one positive thing, like a warm smile or a friendly comment, and basically puts a positive halo over that person's entire character. To put it really simply, if someone is nice to you in one moment, your brain quickly makes a little file that says, okay, this is a good, nice person. It just assumes that because they were good in that one interaction, they must be a good person all the time. It's super efficient, yeah, but not always accurate. So, your brain has created this neat, tidy, consistent image of someone. But what happens when new information comes along that just completely contradicts that image? This brings us to the second big piece of the puzzle. And this right here is the heart of the conflict. On one side, you've got that awesome first impression, the nice and friendly person file your brain made. But on the other side, you have this new, conflicting piece of data, a rude, abrupt tone. Your brain is trying to hold two completely opposite ideas at the same time, and it does not like that one bit. This feeling of a mental mismatch? It's called cognitive dissonance. You can think of it like a computer getting an error message. The data doesn't add up, and the whole system starts to feel stressed. Your brain is a system, and it absolutely hates this kind of contradiction. And that is exactly where the hurt feeling comes from. That sudden sting of irritation or disappointment, that's your brain's emotional reaction to the internal conflict. It's the sheer discomfort of trying to make sense of two opposing facts. This person is nice, and this person just acted rudely. But here's the reality check our brains almost always forget in the moment. People aren't robots. We don't act the same way every single day. Our moods change, our stress levels go up and down, our energy fades. A lot of the time, a shift in someone's tone has everything to do with what's going on inside their head. Stress, being tired, having a bad day, and nothing to do with you. All right, there's one last really crucial piece to this whole thing. Because beyond making neat little files about people and hating confusion, your brain has a much older, much more primal job, keeping you safe. If you think about it from an evolutionary point of view, our brains are basically hardwired to be social threat detectors. In every single interaction, there's a part of your brain that's quietly asking, is this person friend or foe? Are they safe? It's like a background program that's always running. And this explains why a seemingly small thing, like an abrupt tone, can trigger such a big emotional reaction. To your brain's ancient safety system, that sudden switch from friendly to cold gets flagged as a potential social threat. The alarm it sets off isn't necessarily proportional to the actual danger. It's just your brain's protective instinct kicking in and screaming, hey, pay attention, something might be wrong here. Okay, so we've looked at the halo effect, we've talked about cognitive dissonance, and we've met your brain's inner bodyguard. Now, let's put it all together and finally answer that original question. Here it is, step by step. First, your brain builds that positive halo image. Second, their different tone shatters that image, causing the discomfort of cognitive dissonance. Third, your inner bodyguard flags this inconsistency as a potential threat. And finally, your brain rings that emotional alarm, that feeling of hurt or confusion, to make sure you pay attention and protect yourself. So what's the single most important thing to take away from all of this? It's that the gut punch you feel when someone's vibe suddenly changes, it's a completely normal, predictable, biological response. You are not being too emotional.
You are simply being human. Your brain is just running its incredibly complex software of prediction, pattern matching, and self-preservation. It's a feature of being us, not a flaw in you.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you understand the mechanics behind it all, the halo, the dissonance, the threat alarm, how might you see that situation differently the next time it happens? Maybe, just maybe, that moment of confusion can become a moment of understanding. Not just about them, but about yourself too.